Welcome to Blueprint Narratives, the official channel of indiaartanddesign.com, exploring the intricate layers behind architectural and design projects, one story at a time. Whether it's groundbreaking projects, innovative designs, or artistic expressions, each episode uncovers the depth of thought and craftsmanship behind these creations. Over to our aesthete crew, who will take this conversation forward.
Welcome back to Blueprint Narratives, the official podcast channel for indiaartanddesign.com. This is episode 11. And today, we're stepping into a time machine, headed straight for the heart of Mumbai.
Ooh, exciting.
Our destination, the magnificent Afghan church, a 165-year-old marvel that's just undergone a breathtaking restoration.
And what a restoration it is. I was so captivated reading Allison's article on it, especially her interview with lead conservationist Kirtida Unwalla. Incredible what they've accomplished.
Absolutely. This isn't just about patching up an old building. It's a story about architectural innovation, colonial history woven into the fabric of India, and the sheer dedication it takes to preserve these cultural treasures for future generations.
Mm-hmm. When you think about a church built in the heart of Mumbai, to commemorate British soldiers who died in the Afghan wars, it really makes you wonder about the layers of history embedded in its very walls.
Exactly. So for all you design and art enthusiasts out there, get ready for a deep dive. We're going to peel back those layers. Starting with the Afghan church's unique history, built in the mid-1800s as a memorial to those soldiers. It reflects a turbulent period in history, but more than that, it also tells a story about the fusion of cultures that shaped India's architectural landscape.
And speaking of fusion, the architectural style of the Afghan church is truly something to behold. It's neo-Gothic, a striking departure from traditional Indian architecture. In a city known for its diverse architectural tapestry, this European-inspired design speaks volumes about the influence of the British Empire at the time.
Right. Imagine the visual impact of this grand structure back then. Built with locally sourced buff-colored basalt and Porbandar stone, the Afghan church boasts intricate details like gargoyles, those fantastical creatures often found on Gothic buildings, and buttresses, those massive supports that give the structure its strength and grandeur.
Wow.
And let's not forget that soaring spire. We're talking 210 feet high, piercing the Mumbai skyline.
The sheer scale of it is impressive. But what really fascinates me are the structural innovations. Take, for instance, the limestone pillars that seamlessly morph into those towering Gothic arches. It's a testament to the architectural ingenuity of the time, pushing the boundaries of design and engineering.
It makes you appreciate the craftsmanship involved. But of course, 165 years of weathering, salt damage from the sea air, and even encroaching vegetation had taken their toll. The church was in dire need of some TLC.
It was a puzzle, with hundreds of years of history packed into each piece, like the stained glass windows. Can you imagine the patience and skill it took to restore those intricate designs?
Yeah.
Each panel, after 150 years of exposure to Mumbai's heat and humidity, showed varying levels of damage.
It's amazing to think about the stories those windows could tell. And it wasn't just a matter of cleaning them right.
Not at all.
Yeah.
In some cases, the team had to recreate the original Victorian pressed glass, which isn't even manufactured anymore. Imagine that. They had to source material research techniques, essentially become time travelers themselves, to ensure the restoration was historically accurate.
That's incredible. It's like they were weaving together the past and the present.
Exactly. And that same philosophy extended to the teak roof, meticulously restored, and the intricate metal screens painstakingly brought back to life. They even called in specialists, like Swati Chimgadkar for the glasswork and Anupam Saw to revive the metal elements.
Wow.
It was a true collaborative effort.
It really highlights the importance of preserving these traditional crafts. But the restoration wasn't confined to the church itself, was it?
You're absolutely right. The landscape surrounding the church also played a crucial role in the project. The article mentions that there used to be a podium garden that actually obstructed the view of the church from the street. It's almost as if it was hidden in plain sight.
So they decided to give the Afghan church back to the city, so to speak.
Exactly. They re-landscaped the entire area, opening up the church to the cityscape and creating a more harmonious flow between the building and its surroundings. It's a great example of how a thoughtfully designed landscape can actually enhance the impact of a structure.
And it wasn't just about aesthetics.
Right.
They also incorporated some sustainable elements.
Absolutely. They used these special semi-permeable paver blocks, which allow rainwater to seep through, and help the landscape adapt to changing weather conditions.
Interesting.
It's a great reminder that even in historical restoration projects, we can and should embrace eco-friendly practices.
It's a beautiful blend of the old and the new, respecting the past while looking towards the future. Now, for all our listeners who are fascinated by the finer points of design, let's dive into some of the unique features that make the Afghan church such a standout piece of architecture. The article points out the wooden choir stalls, with slots for gun rests.
Gun rests in a church. Now, that's a detail you don't see every day, but it's a powerful reminder of the church's origins, a memorial to soldiers lost in battle. Those gun rests serve as a tangible link to its military connection.
Yeah.
It's a fascinating juxtaposition, isn't it? A place of worship also imbued with this sense of conflict and remembrance.
It makes you think about the different layers of meaning embedded in a building. What other hidden gems did you uncover?
Well, there's the bell tower, housing a peal of 8 bells, which was unprecedented in Western India at the time. Imagine those bells ringing out across the city, a sound that would have been both awe-inspiring and deeply moving. And then there are the stained glass windows, which, as we discussed, are more than just decorative. They depict biblical themes and stories, adding yet another layer of artistry and meaning to the church's design.
Each element, from the structural to the decorative, contributes to the overall narrative. It's quite remarkable.
It truly is. And here's one detail I found particularly intriguing. The altar platform is actually made of Derbyshire fossil marble.
Fossil marble. That's a conversation starter for sure.
It is. It's this beautiful reminder of the vastness of time and the Earth's history. Woven into the very fabric of this building dedicated to faith, the fossils embedded in the marble speak to the evolution of the planet, adding this layer of geological history to the church's spiritual significance.
It's almost as if the church itself becomes a microcosm of history, encompassing human stories, artistic movements, and even the Earth's own evolution.
Yes, and we can't forget about the chancel, the area around the altar. It's oriented westward, which is unusual, but it was a deliberate design choice to soften the harsh morning light and create a more serene atmosphere during services.
Such a clever use of light. It really shows how every aspect of the Afghan church, from its grandest features to the smallest details, serves a purpose both practically and symbolically.
It's a testament to the power of intentionality in design and the enduring legacy of a truly remarkable structure.
Well said. This deep dive into the Afghan church has been truly enlightening. It just goes to show how a single restoration project can unlock so many layers of history, artistry, and human ingenuity. What are your final thoughts on this architectural treasure?
You know, it's a story that speaks to the power of collaboration, wouldn't you say?
Yeah.
Architects, historians, conservationists, even landscape designers, all coming together with this shared passion for bringing this piece of history back to life. It's inspiring.
It really is. And for all of our listeners out there, this restoration is a gold mine of inspiration. It shows how historical sensitivity can be beautifully intertwined with modern sensibilities to create something truly extraordinary. But it also makes you think, doesn't it?
Yeah.
What does a structure like the Afghan church symbolize for Mumbai today? Is it simply a relic of the past? Or does it hold a deeper meaning for the city's residents?
That's such a great question. It reminds us that buildings aren't static. Their meanings evolve along with the communities they serve. I think the Afghan church, with its meticulous restoration, acts as a bridge between Mumbai's past and its future, a symbol of resilience, perhaps, and a reminder of the beauty that can emerge when we invest in preserving our shared cultural heritage.
Beautifully put. It's a testament to the enduring power of art and architecture, transcend time and connect us to something larger than ourselves. And on that note, I think it's time to wrap up this episode of Blueprint Narratives. A huge thank you to Allison for the insightful article that sparked this fascinating discussion, and of course to Kirtida Unwalla and her team for their dedication to preserving this architectural gem. For our listeners, be sure to check out the show notes for a link to Allison's full article on indiaartsainendesign.com. You'll find stunning images and delve even deeper into the nuances of this remarkable restoration project. And as always, we encourage you to share your thoughts and questions with us on social media. What resonated with you most about the Afghan church's story? We'd love to hear from you.
Until next time, keep exploring, keep questioning, and keep the blueprint of your curiosity alive.
And that's a wrap for yet another episode of Blueprint Narratives. Once again, a big thank you to you, our listeners, for tuning in. We trust that you enjoyed this episode too. Please do share it with fellow designers on different groups, and let's keep the conversations going. Also, do check out indiaartanddesign.com. Until next time, stay inspired and keep shaping the world with design.